Hi students, welcome to the video lecture 4 of module 5 topic sequencing. In lecture 3 we cover the topics sequencing using Johnson's rule on n jobs on 2 machine, and also we discussed one of the numerical. In today's lecture the topics to be covered are sequencing using Johnson's rule of n jobs on 3 machines and numerical on that particular topic. The sequencing of n jobs on 3 machines problem is completely described as follows. So here only 3 machines A, B and C, for example, are involved. Each job is processed in the prescribed order A, B, C only, that is first on machine A, then on B and thereafter on C. For example, job 1 is processed on machine A, then it has to be processed on machine B only and thereafter on machine C. No passing of jobs is permitted, that is the same order over each machine is maintained. That is, without being processed in machine A, the job cannot be processed by machine B and as well as machine C. The actual or expected processing times A1, A2 and B1, B2, C1, C2 is as shown in the table below. That is, these are the jobs and these are the processing times on machine A, machine B and machine C respectively. So the problem again is to find the optimum sequence and jobs which minimizes T, that is nothing but the total elapsed time, which also includes the idle time. No general solution is available at present for such a case, that is for sequencing of n jobs on 3 machines. However, the previous method, that is n jobs on 2 machines, can be extended to cover this special case problem under the following two conditions. So what are the two conditions is, the minimum time on machine A must be greater than or equal to maximum time on machine B, and the minimum time on machine C must be greater than or equal to maximum time on machine B. So either of these two conditions must be satisfied to solve this problem using the case n jobs on 2 machines. If any one of these conditions is satisfied, the problem is converted into n jobs on 2 machines, that is whatever the processing times are given is added, that is processing time of A and processing time of B is added and it is denoted by GI. Similarly, the processing time of B and C is added and it is denoted as H. So in this new problem, with the prescribed order GH is solved by the method of previous case, that is sequencing of n jobs on 2 machine, and the resulting optimal sequence will also be optimal for the original problem, that is the order A, B, C. So now let us see the numerical on this particular case, that is n jobs on 3 machines. The problem definition is, a machine operator has to perform 3 operations, that is turning, threading and knurling on a number of different jobs. The time required to perform these operations in minutes for each job is known. Determine the order in which the jobs should be processed in order to minimize the total time required to turn out all the jobs. Also, we need to find the idle time for the 3 operations. So these are the data. Total 6 jobs are there, and this is the processing time, that is time taken for turning, we call it as A. Time taken for threading is called B. Time taken for knurling is called C. That is, turning operation can be denoted as machine A, threading operation can be denoted as machine B, and knurling operation can be denoted as machine C. So in the given problem, if you observe, the minimum time for turning is 2 and maximum time for threading is 8, and similarly minimum time for knurling is 8. Hence, since minimum time in C is equal to maximum time in B, we can solve this example by the procedure described in n jobs on 2 machine. So we convert this as an equivalent problem by adding the times of A, processing times of turning and threading, and threading and knurling. So turning and threading is called as G, threading and knurling is called as H. So now we'll follow the procedure for sequencing the jobs which we followed in sequencing of n jobs on 2 machines. So examining the processing times of G and H, we observe that the minimum time corresponds to the column G. Hence, the job 4 is assigned sequenced first. Since it comes to the first column, it is sequenced to the left side of the blocks. After this, the table reduces to this, and the next least time is 9, which comes again in under G. So it is corresponding to job 3. So it will be assigned here to the left side of the block only. After this, the table reduces to like this, and here there is a tie in minimum time, that is 11 appears here and 11 appears here. So first what we do according to the procedure, we assign job 1, since it corresponds to the column G, we assign here, and next we assign job 5, since the minimum time corresponds to H column, we assign to the right side of the blocks. So after it reduces to this, here minimum time is 12, so 6 is assigned here and 2 is assigned here, that is sequenced here. So now the optimal sequence is 4, 3, 1, 6, 2 and 5. So once the sequencing is done, we can proceed to calculate the total elapsed time. So it is similar to whatever we have done in n jobs on 2 machine. So for job 4, the processing time is 2, and it enters turning operation at 0 minute, and after processing, that is it takes 2 minutes, it comes out and enters to threading operation. So for threading operation for job 4, the time is 6 minutes. So 2 plus 6 will be 8, and for knurling it takes 12 minutes. So 8 plus 12 you will get 20. So here 2 time out will come here, time in for the next job. Here time out will come as a time in for the next job. Here time out will come to the time in for the next job. So here what we need to do, we need to compare time out and time out here. Whichever is maximum has to be written here as time in, because until this job is completed, it can't go to next machine. That's why this timeout has to be compared with this timeout and has to be written here, whichever is maximum. Similarly here 20 and 12 has to be compared, whichever is maximum has to be written as time in here. So the next job is 3. The processing time for this is 5. So 2 plus 5 will be 7. So since we compare 8 and 7, so here 8 is maximum, that's why it will enter time in here. So to process job 3, it takes 4 minutes. 8 plus 4 will be 12, and to process job 3, that is 9 minutes. 20 plus 9 will be 29. So the next job is 1. The time taken is 3. So 7 plus 3 will be 10. For threading it will take 8 minutes. So now we compare 10 and 12. 12 is maximum, so I am taking here time in. 12 plus 8 will be 20. So here it is taken 13 minutes. So 29 and 20 is compared. 29 is maximum, so I have written here. So 29 plus 13 I will get 42. So the next job is 6. So for 6 job, the processing time for turning is 11. So 10 plus 11 will be 21. So if you see here 20 and 21, here 21 is maximum. So here we take 21. Okay, it indicates that since after 20 minutes the machine 2 is free, that is machine B is free, so idle time here will be 1 minute. Idle time will be 1 minute, so which is shown here. Similarly, the time taken is 1 minute, so 22, 42 and 42 is written here. So in this way the remaining values are calculated. Thus the minimum elapsed time will be 77, which comes at this stage, and idle time for turning operation will be 77 minus 42, that is 35. That is 77 minus 42, that is 35. And for threading operation it will be 77 minus 45, and we need to add this, that is 2 plus 1 plus 11 plus 3, which is equal to 49 minutes. So this 2 is, earlier while processing this job this machine is free, that is 2, and here 21 and 20, that is 1 year. Here 33 and 22, so 33 minus 22 will get 11, and here 39 and 42, so 42 minus 39 will get 3. So these are nothing but the idle times. So it is plus 77 minus 45, 32 minutes is added to this. And for knurling operation it is 8 minutes. So that is nothing but up to these 2 jobs are completed, it was idle. So that is what is written. Hope you understood the concept. Thank you. We'll meet in the next lecture.